Want to know how many times I attempted to unalive myself before I even transitioned? Having nothing to do with being trans or contemplating it, etc. There was the attempted overdose, drinking bleach, and eating a lot of Tylenol, about 40 plus. The worst stomachache I could ever have imagined. The attempted hanging twice, one where the rope broke, and then the other time in the garage. The other one was at Golden Gate Park. And I was too scared to jump. There was the attempt to jump in front of a subway, to which I don't really remember. I just was reminded by the ER when I had turned myself in after having then tried to jump off the Golden Gate Bridge. And then I guess every day for 7 years, every time I would drink, I wouldn't drink to, enjoy myself. I would be drinking to hopefully never wake up again. Every time I tried, I was just being selfish and I was being a coward. They say that the first 5 minutes or the first 9 minutes is the time in which the person that is going to commit the act will actually commit to it. Anytime longer than that, you've already overthought it, and it definitely, you don't end up doing it. It's pretty much almost what happened to me almost every time. Mind you, this was all not because of trans ordeals and anything. I was just feeding into the victimhood mindset. Woe is me, self-pity parties, yada yada yada, misery loves company. It just never gets you anywhere, I promise. But through trial and tribulation, I kind of realized, well, I need to stop being selfish, stop feeling sorry for myself, etc. But that's besides the point. Your statistic of trans people attempting to commit, usually it's just a cry for attention. Usually it's just a cop-out coming from a person from experience. Because it's not a cry for attention if you're actually successful. But if you don't succeed, then, and then someone finds out because you have to tell someone, because, you set it up to where, someone finds out and yada, 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 because you need that attention and you need that validation. People that are dead set on deading themselves don't tell anybody. They just go out and, or they do it with a bang, basically. And you need that something, because either the hormones have either made you go batshit insane, as per the first 3 months of your transition are considered the hell months of your transition, especially going from male to female. I don't know what it feels like to do female to male, but they're the most intensive months of your transition, given the fact of the emotional and mental shift that you are now transitioning into, to which most people cannot handle, at all. This is how I know that women are psycho bitches, because honestly, I thought I knew emotions before I started taking synthetic estrogen. Being a Cancer, we're technically supposed to be really emotional. Well, no, I was wrong, because I'm still falling. I'm falling down that bottomless pit of emotional depth. I'm like, what is this? But the first 3 months of that, on top of being an alcoholic, I'm surprised I didn't try to commit, unalive myself. So if these kids are going through something to which they're not being, or even adults, it's like when you're an adult and you're making this decision to transition, you should know damn well if you have the genetics, the androgyny to potentially actually be having a smooth transition. And if you already are aware of that, then you better own it before anyone owns it with you, owns it against and uses it against you. But if you're a child, I guess you must be an adult, because if you can't really the argument of if you need to be 18 to get a tattoo, but yet you can be under 18 and be on hormones, kind of crazy sort of dichotomy of sorts. But if you're that adult enough to choose to start transitioning, then you have to deal with the consequences of what you may or may not be able to handle them. So that statistic of people attempting to unalive themselves, I don't really have pity for. I don't, because it's it's after that's when people utilize that to become a victim again, and need it to be, to get attention from, so people can feel sorry for them. And I'm saying that because that's exactly why I was doing it, why I was trying to commit suicide, why I was trying to unalive myself. Goddamn TikTok. It was to get a point across, but also to get the attention, because the last time that I would ever do that was in San Francisco 3 times. But the last time was my final moment when I went to go jump off the Golden Gate Bridge. But I did it in a very selfish manner, because my ex-husband at the time, I wanted to make to seem as to be the bad guy. It was a very psycho-manipulative sort of ordeal that I can get into at another time. But it is something that I don't regret, but I wish that I did differently because of the fact of how much of an impact it had on him. Mind you, I was inebriated hella at the time, but you can only blame so much on the alcohol regardless. I made the decisions made my choices, which resulted in consequences that I still had to deal with, I suppose, today. But luckily, anyways, thankfully thereafter, I definitely was trying to understand myself and went to rehab, and also went to cognitive behavioral therapy. I haven't drank in almost 10 years. Like I'm doing a lot better. So it's like, but at the same time, that's just my spiel when it comes to unaliving yourself. It's not worth it. It really isn't. And the amount of pain and suffering that you caused your entire environment, it is not worth the bridges that you burn because you decided to do something very selfish. Whether or not you had enough love as a child or whatever is besides the point. Find the love. But find the love within yourself first before you can try to seek it somewhere else. Just saying. Moving forward, I'm going to be hitting my 10-year mark of transitioning on May 11th, and I have not had one unaliving thought since. So it really is dependent on the individual's environment, on why they decide to feel such a low to go to such a length and make that decision, whether it is for attention or not. Because obviously there's something that is going on within that person that needs to be talked about, needs to be understood, needs to be heard, etc. But at the same time, there's two sides to it, in my very much opinion.